Would Steve Jobs still have created the iPhone if he knew the effects that it was having on society today? Like, would he be proud of it? And it's a loaded question for sure, because in one way, the phone in the palm of our hands has created phenomenal expansion, right, in society and how we live, work, and play. And no doubt you're probably watching this maybe from the palm of your hands. But on the flip side, now that we know what's going on in society, now that we know that, loneliness is the fastest growing epidemic, we know that we spend less time outdoors in maximum security prisons, that we, spend 43 hours of our week spectating instead of participating in life. And it's mainly due to our phones. And I wonder if Steve Jobs was still around, when his head hit the pillow at night, did he still wish that he created this? Right? Forget about a successful company and all the wealth, but deep down, right, when he just listened into his intuition, his heart, would he have still have done it? Right back in 2008 when he changed the world, literally changed the world. I wonder if he still would have done it knowing what he knows now, because Steve had kids, and I know from reading his book, he never let his own kids use technology.
Is that right?
It is right. Yeah, and actually a lot of the Silicon Valley guys...
Did he say that in his book?
Yeah, and a lot of the Silicon Valley guys also don't let their kids play with tech, because obviously tech is designed to suck you in, right? To, steal your attention, to steal your focus.
Did he say why that he didn't let his kids use it?
Well, because he knows that that's what it does, right? It's designed to actually keep you on there. Right, and this is obviously how ads work. It's how social media works. They buy for our attention. The problem is it's worked so well, right, that it's taken all of our attention. And it's like every second we have, whether we're lining up to grab a coffee, right, whether we've just got a moment here and there, it's like the first thing we do is grab our phone and start flicking through it. And man, I do it too. Like, I've been sucked in to this attention-grabbing machine, right? We all have. Well, most of us anyway. And so I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, do you think that our technology, our phones, have been an advantage? And up until now, we could probably say yes. But knowing what you know now, are they now becoming a disadvantage to society? Are they literally killing us, right? Because we know in a lot of circumstances they actually are killing us.
Is it the phone that's killing us, or is it the way we use it that's killing us?
Well, it's 100% the way we use it, which is killing us, right? Because our phones, typically back in the day when we had the Nokia 8210, which was my first phone.
Well, the game Snake. Remember the
Snake?
You remember Snake?
100% remember Snake.
That definitely took me away from my responsibilities as a 12-year-old.
So I'm wondering if Snake was actually the first culprit of this whole conversation.
We used to remember when the phones were like, they were mobiles, but they looked like home phones. They were that big.
Oh, and the flip phone. I remember my best mate at school had the first phone, mate. This little blue flip phone.
He would have been the most popular.
Mate, he already was. He was a good-looking chap. You know who you are, by the way.
But you had one phone for the whole family.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we would always steal the phone and play Snake.
I still remember my mate's landline phone. I won't say it. So the phone it's an instrument, right? It's a tool, but it's the things that have been put on it. It's the apps that have starved us of this attention. Because phones are amazing, right? We can call people, we can connect. All of these things that we can do on our phone does create connection. But it's also created a disconnection when used in the wrong way. And I see this all the time. I see it when couples are together at a restaurant and they're on their phones instead of talking. I see it in a group of colleagues when they're all around at lunchtime and rather be texting or on their phones. I'm sure you see it all the time. And what it's doing is it's stealing away that warmth of relationships that we need, right? That positive human connection, that oxytocin, the love chemical that we actually need, right? To feel like we belong with other people. Because you don't actually get oxytocin when you're texting people or calling people. And there was an amazing study that came out the other day, and I wish I could remember it, and I'll find it. But it just said how important it was around teenage girls, whether between texting their mum and calling their mum. And when they texted their mum, it actually became a negative emotion that they felt. And yet when they called their mum, right, it was a positive emotion. They got that oxytocin, that feeling of safe and belonging. And that can be such a subtle difference, maybe once or twice, but time and time again, it can really actually disconnect, right, from that family member. And so that's my question. And I'd love to know your thoughts because, you know, there's going to be two arguments to this one, 100%. But for me personally, I love the convenience that a phone brings. The fact that I can be anywhere and go anywhere and do what I need to do. But I'm also starting to hate the fact that I'm becoming reliant on it too, that, you know, moments of the day I find myself not focusing and being present with my family or my friends, but actually focusing and being present with this thing, this black machine in my hand.
It's totally it's so easy to be distracted by it.
So easy.
And it's become like our greatest challenge, hey.
Oh, and I know why. It's the dopamine, right? Like it's every time that you get a ping or you're looking for that email to warrant your value, right? It's creating value where you might not feel it. And maybe this is the thing. Maybe when you walk in the door at night, right? Or you're with a group of friends, you don't actually feel valued. You're not getting that sense of self-worth. And so maybe that's why we're going to these phones, because we're getting our self-worth, our value, our dopamine from there, our sense of belonging from our group chats. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because we've forgotten to connect. We've become so good at communicating, but we've actually forgotten to connect. And it's that connection that creates that value that we need in our lives to feel valued. I hear you, I see you. Right, to have the belonging that we need.
Well, even when you call someone, there's something about being on the spot where all you've got is you and them, and you can't really hide much. When you're texting, it's like, how many times do you backspace, change that word, flip that around, make it sound, that sounds stupid, I'll say it this way.
I did it you this morning, man. I had my 2 kids, I was trying to do a bloody email, and then you're texting, and then and I was like, I am not present in any of these things that I'm doing right now.
It's sort of, it gives you the opportunity to like put forward your crafted version of what you want to be, rather than like when you're on the phone.
Authenticity.
Yeah, when you're on the other end of the phone, it's like, well, what you got is what you have is what you get.
Yeah.
It's like I can't really do much to fabricate that.
So this is the thing, we're losing connection. Okay, yeah, we can communicate all day long, but it's the connection that we need, we desire, right, as human beings, that oxytocin, that feeling of belonging. So, okay, so here's our question. Would Steve Jobs still have created the iPhone if he knew what he knew today? Or maybe we just need to get better at using the instrument that he's given us. Maybe we have to work out in our own lives how we can disconnect from that to reconnect back to ourselves and others and this beautiful natural environment around us.
What would you have done if you were Steve Jobs?
Knowing what I know now, honestly, I'd probably regulate who gets to come on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably regulate who gets to come on the phone. Only because I got kids now, and it's different now. Yeah, I would say, you know what? I've got enough money. Now actually what I need to do is feel proud of the invention that I've created. I want to leave this world with a legacy that I can be proud of. Maybe that's what I'd do. But hey.
It's a hard one to control. Like even even when you think about cars, you know, you can ask the same question about motor cars. You know, how many people have died in motor car accidents?
Jeez, mate, now we're really getting into it. So we're going to be here all day if we start opening up this conversation.
But it's a hard one to control. Like, you know,
Now we're going to NRA, mate. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
but isn't it the same conversation? And
It could be the same. Okay, no, it's a different conversation, and I'll tell you why. Because you need to be of a certain age to get a license, right? You need to be of a certain age to require a gun. Now, we're in Australia, so it's not happening in America. The problem is with social media and with phones is that you don't need to be a certain age. I think that's the issue. Now, we say it's 13, it should be 16, but let's be honest. You click a button, you're in. There's no license around it, that's the thing. Right? To get a car, you have to drive and drive and drive with someone next to you. You have to practice, and you've always got a mentor there with you, maybe even like a parent, right? They're always there with you, guiding you to do the right thing. We don't do that with phones. We literally hand them over, say happy birthday or Merry Christmas, right? There's no license for it. We don't hold their hand. We don't talk them through it. We just go for it. Call me when you want to be picked up. But the problem is, that's the 1% of the time they're actually using that phone for. So this is the thing, we don't have a license to use it. We never thought we needed it, right? It's a phone, how harmful could it be? But it's bloody harmful, and that's the problem. So we need to understand now what we have to put in place, not only at a federal level or a global level, but actually at a household level. And I'm scared shitless to when my kids grow of age where they're going to be begging me for a phone because everyone else has one. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, that's the conversation. I'd love to know your thoughts around this one. And best of luck too.